So this morning has been really weird so far. So I warmed up, we got to 140 kilos as you just saw there. And just my left knee started clicking, not just like popping and cracking kind of thing, which is normal, but like clicking. So something that you guys wouldn't hear on camera. Basically, I've had this before, and it's some sort of tightness in the hips. I always kind of diagnose it as that. I don't know exactly what's going on. I know the vastus lateralis, the kind of the outer sweep, is a stronger muscle of the two than the medialis. I can't remember what the name of the inner teardrop muscle is right now. But anyway, there's an imbalance, and so what happens is the outer sweep quad pulls on the suprapatellar tendon. And so then you get a click, so the patella kind of gets taken out of the groove, and that's where the click is that I feel. So anyway, I was really upset about that. Racked the bar, unloaded the bar, and I started deadlifting a little bit as I programmed today, which was just 100 kilos for 2 sets of 10. And throughout that movement, it wasn't clicking. So it's only kind of like when I get to about 90 degrees of my knee that it clicks. And I've had this before. I've had this issue before. There's no pain, there's no nothing, there's no discomfort. It's just, you know, when I'm squatting, I feel like this tension unloaded for a split second, then I gotta kind of catch it. It's kind of like the knee gives out. So I did deadlifting, and I've just ramped it up back to up to 140 kilos. That didn't feel that bad. So hopefully this first set of 170 kilos feels good. I plan today to do 2 sets. It is 6 o'clock in the morning, so that's why I'm kind of talking a little bit on the quieter side. I don't want to wake anyone up. So that's what I'm feeling right now. So it looks like it's going to be a shit day, but I'm going to try and do a set of 170. If it clicks, I abort the mission right away. I'm not one of those guys to push through. I woke up this morning really stiff for whatever reason. Last night I trained at 6 p.m. and this morning I'm training at 6 a.m. So it's a quick turnaround. So 12 hours between sessions. But anyway, let's see how it goes. So 170 kilos on the bar. Fingers crossed it doesn't click. It might look a little bit slow because I'm kind of tentative about the whole thing. Hopefully it moves well. And then click. So that felt all right. There was only a bit of a click on the 4th rep. Which is a lot better than I felt before. Anyway, I'm gonna catch my breath. I'm gonna see if I wanna do another one. So I've caught my breath, had a look at the video. It looks pretty good. But like all the time, like, you know, what you feel and what you see is completely different. So given the fact that it felt good, and only the 4th rep caused me trouble, not trouble, I felt kind of like it was going to click. Now the click I'm talking about, it's like, it feels like somebody's just tapped my knee on the side at 90 degrees. So the feeling is very unnerving. So I'm gonna go do another set now, but I don't have confidence with this. You know, I don't know what's going on. I think it's the hips that are really tight, and I think the deadlifts have kind of loosened them up a little bit. But we'll see how it goes. I plan to do 5 reps here, like last set, but I wonder if the squatting motion is doing something to my quads. I don't know, it's really weird. Like some days you wake up and you feel so loose and so fresh. Sometimes I wonder if it's the food or I drank plenty of water yesterday. It's really weird. I try to map out all the things that could have gone wrong. Yesterday was a good session. Yesterday, I don't know, it wasn't even a big session. Anyway, whatever. Let me get under the bar and I'm gonna try and feel my way through the first rep. If it goes good, then I might stick with it for the rest of it. Let's see how this goes. So, same thing, 170 for 5. Oh, so rep 3, 4, and 5, a bit of a click, but nothing like what I was feeling before. So, let me catch my breath. So, as you saw there, the second set moved quite well as well. Rep 3, 4, and 5, I did feel a little bit of a click. Now, once again, the cracking and the popping you guys hear on the video, that to me is harmless. I don't feel anything, there's no feeling there. The clicking I'm referring to is kind of like a patella jumping out of its spot in a way. I know this sounds really bad. I don't know, when you score for 300 odd days in a row, you kind of learn everything about the knees and the hips and the ankles, and you kind of feel like, you know, what normal is. This morning was a new thing, abnormal thing. You know, sometimes in nursing and in medicine, you know, we say you don't need to know what it is, but you need to know that it's not normal. So if you walk past something and you're like, I don't know what that is, but it ain't normal, you call for help. So today, what I felt was not normal. So there's concern. I've had this in the past, and previously I stopped. I didn't know how to work it out. It was consecutive days. It was causing me trouble. I didn't know what to do. Try this, try that. Like, you know, for the few weeks that I was messing with this, I didn't know what was going on. And it was only until I went back to the glutes, the hips, and I started working on them that it started clearing up. So this is why I feel like the deadlift helped me today, because glute max, medius, minimus, all of that got engaged. A lot of knee problems originated at the hip. In fact, a lot of problems originated at the hip, including back pain, including, you know, quad pain, hamstring pain. There's a lot of misalignment happening in the hip, you know, posterior pelvic tilt, anterior pelvic tilt, which is what I have, anterior. And so you always have to think to yourself, okay, there's trouble with the knee. The knee is a very simple joint. It just does this, locks and unlocks. You know, the hip does all sorts of other stuff, abducts. So a lot more motion in the hip and the shoulder, right? So these are the joints that you look into first. And now I'm not all that familiar with shoulder trouble, because I've never had shoulder trouble, and I always maintain that if you're doing some sort of hanging or pull-ups, your shoulders are going to be healthy. But with hips, it's all about the glutes. I honestly feel like it's all about the glutes. And now you might think to yourself, well, shit, man, you're squatting every day. Like your quads, sorry, your glutes should be firing. Not necessarily. The way I squat, it's probably much more quad dominant than it is glute dominant. And so the glutes can fall asleep. Anyway, glad I got through to today. It's something to think about. Anyway, if you've got any knee trouble, start at the hips, work on your glutes and see how it feels. Catch you next one, guys.